Alright. Now, the much requested Souls Like the Wheels instructional video. Um, Mostly I'm going to spend time playing through sections slowly, but I will break down some of the parts that are particularly challenging. So the intro, well, first of all, it's in open C tuning, which is C, G, C, G, C, E. So that's obviously the first step, and then there's a capo on the 4th fret, and then it starts as such. You take these two fingers, and you put them on the low E and the G string. You pluck those, followed by an open B string. You slide them up to the 5th fret, and then pluck those. So that's, slide them up one more, and you slide down off of that. So. And then here, you make this shape with these two fingers. And then you slide up to the 9th and 10th frets, sorry. The 9th and 10th frets relative to the capo, which are truly the 13th and 14th frets on the G and B strings. Then on down to here, the 4th and 5th frets. Then 2nd and 4th frets. All the while keeping this alternating bass going with the thumb, and occasionally hitting this open high E string. So that entire intro section goes. Repeats. So stop and pause and rewind if you need to see anything again. That's generally the best way to learn things, I find. Then it starts into where it kind of plays the tune of the song, and the feel kind of changes a little bit. The beat, it becomes less syncopated at this part. So the way that I like to do this is with a brush of these bottom 3 strings with my thumb, and then pluck the top 3 strings with each finger respectively, with this finger on the 3rd fret here of the high E. So that's 3rd, then open, 2nd fret of the B string, open, and then this chord shape is just these middle 2 fingers that we've kept on using on the 2nd fret of the A string and G string. Hammer onto both of them, you pluck them both and then hammer onto them both at once. And then you go to this chord shape, which is your ring and pinky finger on the E and B strings 5th fret, and your middle finger on the low E 5th fret. So you pluck each of those, and then the open G string, which kind of adds a suspended note to the chord there. And then this time you do the alternating bass on the A string and the D string, and you slide from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret on the high E. Then open, 2nd, open. So altogether that first section is. Then it repeats. Then you go back to this shape, which is familiar, but you change the picking up a little bit. You pluck both these both E's at the same time. Then here, you keep these 2 fingers where they were, but just slide them down one. but instead of using your pinky, you're going to use your index finger on the 3rd fret of the high E, and use the same pick pattern, and then slide that shape down 2 frets. Same pick pattern, and repeat that. And then the singing starts. And you play pretty much the same thing as you've just played when you're doing the singing. Souls like the waves turning, making us decide on again. It's not this fast, obviously, you know. Then there's another verse. But then you get to the let me go part, and that goes, let me go, let me go. And the way that you play that is, let me go. Alright, so the pick pattern is kind of what makes this part sound cool, I think. So this is... That's just 4th fret and then 2nd fret of the A string up here. And then same pick pattern, the very opening slide sequence. Then it does it again. So there you go. And then then it does a little instrumental interlude where it goes. This is familiar. But then it goes. And that's just your open D string with a bar of the top 3 strings at the 7th fret. So then, after you've done the last let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go, then the guitar solo happens. And this is one of the trickier parts of the song. It changes back into that kind of swung feel that was had in the introduction, and you keep that alternating bass going. This is important to get that under control because that's going throughout the entire song. And then it starts out with a slide from the 2nd to 4th fret with your middle finger on the B string, then a 3rd fret with your index finger on the high E. And this shape is these 2 fingers on the 3rd fret of the A and D string respectively, along with your index finger on the 2nd fret of the B string. Then you pluck the B string twice in a row, and you take that index off. So that's... Then this, you have your middle finger on the 5th fret of the low E, and you hammer on, you start with an open, and then you hammer on to the D string. You hammer on to the 4th fret with your index finger. Doesn't sound very good. The intonation on my low E string is not very good, but that's the idea. And then it does this again. This time, this is where it gets tricky. It goes, you do the same thing. And this will take practice, this next section. It goes. And he plays it at speed like, you know, but you've got to start slow and build it up to speed. So the way that it goes is, that's open, open, hammer on, open G string, open, hammer on to the 4th fret of the G string, open B string, pull off to open on the B string, pull off to open on the G string, hammer on, open B string. Alright, so I'm going to play that super slowly, and then meanwhile you have to keep your thumb going on every beat on that. Bum, bum, so that's... Rewind that and play it a couple times. And then it gives me the back end too. Oh, and then this is familiar. And that is pretty much the entire song. There are some more repeats, but that is essentially it. So good luck. Rewind sections and play them back as many times as you need to. And to see how it all flows together, you can check out my version of the song that this is a video response to. The singing leaves something to be desired, in my opinion, on that particular take. But I was just eager to get it up before anybody else did. So, cool. Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, and then on the very end of the song, you know, he goes, "Let me go, let me go, let me go, let me go." And then this last chord is just. I think. Yeah. And that's 5th fret of the low E and 2nd fret of the G. Good luck.